I picked up a lot of new fans on the east coast of America, the big Irish contingent out there. I'm hoping that some of them will come and support as well, and I'm expecting to bring maybe 4,000 fans to Vegas, which will maybe sound like 10, it'll sound like a lot more, and look, I'm excited about it, and it's great. You know, I'm almost 30, and it's good for me now that these big, huge fights are happening in this side of the Atlantic.
After the last fight, after the 12th round, you went in your corner, scorecards are being tabulated.
Yeah.
How convinced were you that you won the fight?
I thought I won. My team thought I won. I think, you know, someone asked me a question earlier on, it was a controversial victory. I don't think it was controversial at all. I think I won the fight by 3 or 4 rounds. But I understand that the rounds were close. And it was a very competitive fight, but I think I was just doing a little bit more in most of the rounds to get the nod. And it's going to be the same, you know. They said it again, I don't want to sound repetitive, but this fight happens 50 times, then there's 50 good fights, you know. It's always going to work like that. I think our styles just gel really well together, and again, just expect a great night and a great bill as well. You know, Mickey Garcia and Dejan to be a co-feature. That's a bill topper on its own. So it's a huge fight.
A lot of people thought your fight was going to be here. I mean, in overseas.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to fight out here
Well,
in the United
the problem was the time of the year. The fight in January. The biggest arena in Belfast, indoor arena, only holds 9,000 people, and a fight against Leo Santa Cruz in Belfast, if there was an arena big enough, we'd sell 30,000 tickets, no problem. So you need to do it outdoor, and it's a bit cold to fight outdoor in January in Ireland, and that's the only reason it didn't happen. I think that Leo would have came to Ireland. He's talking about that, you know, if he wins this fight, he would come to Ireland and have the trilogy. But it's up to me to make it 2-0, and then we can move on.
Do you expect to have the home field advantage again in Vegas like you had in New York?
It's going. Well, he's obviously it's a bit closer to home than Leo. You can drive from LA to Vegas, and he'll bring a lot of fans with him. But I'm bringing, I reckon, about 4,000 from the UK and Ireland. It's a lot of people. I'm very honoured for the support I have. I think at the minute in the UK I'm the most well-supported fighter. So it's a great privilege for me. But I'm hoping that I pick up, you know, some of the East Coast fans that watched me in the last time, follow suit and come along. And if there's any Irish in LA or Vegas, then I hope they come out and support too.
Well, your Spanish is great. You showed it. So that's going to bring 2 or 3.
Well, I hope so. Maybe 2 or 3 Mexicans might support me.
What makes you feel so confident that the rematch will be the same exact outcome?
Yeah,
what happened in the first fight that makes you
when I fight people, when I spar people, I feel like I improve the second time, and I feel like I have a good boxing brain, and I can adapt to different situations. And you know, I've only ever fought. Kiko Martinez is the only other guy as a professional that I fought twice. Although I stopped him, I knocked him out in the 9th round. The first fight, it was a difficult fight up until that point. The second time I fought him, he had momentum. He was a world champion, and I beat him on points, but it was almost a shutout. I won convincingly. I won, you know, comfortable, and that's because I learned from the first fight. I think this time it's going to be the same. I know everything about Leo. He fights, if you look at all his fights, I think he's at 35 to date. He fights the same way every single time. He's head first, he throws a lot of shots, he's very fit, he's very, very tough, he's very resilient. But I just know about him now, and that's going to be the difference.
Being a member of the boxing writers, we just had the vote like last week about Fighter of the Year. I mean, it looks as if you're the front runner, that you're going to get it. Does that honor mean? How much does that mean to you? What does it mean to you?
That's huge. Like, you want to tick off boxes when you my main objective was to become a world champion when I turned professional, and I done that in 2014, and everything else that comes with it is a bonus. But to be, you know, potentially in the running for Fighter of the Year, it's a huge thing for me. I think 2016 was a year that I'll never forget. 2017 potentially has a chance to be even better, and I'm looking forward to getting it going. You know, we're kicking it off with a great fight. You know, this isn't just for publicity, and I'm not a spoofer. I don't tell a spoofer as someone who tells lies back home. This is going to be a good fight. There's no doubt about it, and I hope that a lot of people come out and see it.
So you don't expect anything different from him this time around?
I'm expecting. Obviously, he had a lot of trouble with his dad in the last camp. Maybe his training wasn't his focus. So I'm expecting a better. I'm preparing for a better Leo Santa Cruz. But in terms of how he fights and his style, he fights the same way all the time, and that's a good way. You know, it's got him to become a 3-weight world champion. He usually wears people down and overwhelms them, but I have serious punching power, and that again can be the difference. You know, when I'm hitting him as he comes in, he maybe not want to be as aggressive, maybe not want to let his hands go as much because he'd be fearful of getting tagged.
Did you feel his power at all in the fight, or how did you rate it?
Anyone at sort of this level, you know, can punch hard. Leo can punch. If I'm being honest, I have been hit harder as a professional, but I think it's more to do with me being up at featherweight now. I think I can take a shot better. I was taking something away from my own performances, making 122, and it was just killing me a little bit. And up at 9 stone, 126, I feel comfortable, and that was my first fight. This, you know, it's only going to get better.
What's been your toughest fight up till this point? What's been your toughest fight up to this point?
The toughest fight, obviously, the Leo fight was very tough, but I enjoyed it. I wasn't the first fight with Kiko Martinez was very tough. Again, that was when I was struggling to make weight, and it was the 9th round before I stopped him, and I remember, you know, putting him over and just standing in the neutral corner and begging that he didn't get back up because I was exhausted and there wasn't a lot of energy left. So the first fight with Kiko was very tough, but again, this fight was tough. But it was an enjoyable fight. I really enjoyed the Leo fight, and I think it's just going to be more of the same.